Hi everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. I have a special guest. He won't stay long. He isn't a cuddler. He's more nosy, but he's also blocking my light. So the card I'm going to do for you today is going to end up being a series. It didn't start out that way, but I'm going to use this new die. And I moved the case. I think it's called Petal something, I think. I will put the name down underneath. So it's a standalone die. It doesn't have a stamp set that goes with it. It's super cute. So I have like 4 cards in process because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with it. I tried to do something with the designer series paper because that goes on sale on July 1st. But it's kind of a busy pattern and I may go back to that. So I had all of these pieces cut out. And then I thought a couple of years ago, I did a card with the ornate layers or ornate frames, the one that has the little ones. If you want to see it, you can search in my videos for Stencil because I created a stencil with it. And so my daughter had loaned me the stitchery set. So the stencil kind of looks stitched. So I decided I would go ahead and do that. So check back because I will be using this die a lot. It's super fun. I did want to show you because I'm not going to actually cut it out for you. Let me put it on this piece of paper. So you can see here the little flowers. A lot of them have embossing on them as well. So like this one has the little dots in the center. So not only can you use the big piece like we're going to use today, or the big piece for decoration, you can use a lot of the little pieces that pop out. Not going to use those today, but I did want to show you that. So we're going to use stitchery. I'll go ahead and use it first since I have it here. Oops, it just stuck itself to my Stamparatus magnet. I was really torn. I do like this one right here. I think it looks kind of like barbed wire. So when I get one of the Western sets out, or kind of a farm set soon, I'm going to pull that one out if I still have her set. She's getting ready to go on a spree of wedding and not hers, but friends' bridal showers and bridal bachelorette parties and all kinds of stuff. So I may have her little stamps for longer. So I went with this one because it looked the most stitched to me. For what I wanted to do for this. I wanted it to kind of have a fabric look. So I'll do this first. We're going to do Bermuda Bay for our background. You want to have a nice, good fold on it before you stamp. That way it's ready and you don't have to fold it once that stamping's on there. So get this on here. Bermuda Bay is one of my favorite colors. It's been around for a long time. You can see I tried to clean up all of the little pieces that fell everywhere. Some of them I saved because you could also make a shaker card, but I'm going to do something with the shimmer vellum and that background. So let's see, grab this. And then what I did, I have these on my table. This isn't, obviously it's a mess. So you can tell it's real. When I line up straight stamps like this, here's how I do it. I put this so it's straight on a line, and then I move it down just a fraction because you don't want your stamps right there on the edge. So I know my stamp is still straight. And then I put that straight, and then I lay this straight. So it's fairly close to the bottom, and I knew that on my block it was straight. You can do the same thing with grid paper or anything that has a line on it. So I'm going to use just black memento. And I'm stamping putting my ink on this direction because if you do it the other way on these long, thin stamps, you often can catch corners. And I didn't want to catch any corners. So now that I have this nice good line, I'm going to open this back up because it's easier to stamp on a flat piece of paper than it is on one that is, see if I can do it way up here for you to see. So I found it was easiest to put it all the way down so it looked like it was almost coming off the paper. But then you have to remember on this one, not on all of them, but I wanted this line so it looked like it was stitched into the piece we're going to lay on the top. Add my ink and then make sure I have it the right way. And she is her mother's daughter, so there are no stickers on her set either. I don't put the stickers on. I don't know why. Busy half the time, lazy some of the time. And sometimes for resale purposes, people don't like the stickers on them. So it just kind of depends. But obviously, she doesn't have her stickers on it. She's at work, so I didn't want to call and ask her if I could put the sticker on this one. It would be easier because this way you see one side is straight and the other side has the little stitcheries. So put this one all the way next to the fold. See, it's really easy to use. Super easy, super cute. one more. And you can see it left a little gap. I think it's more designed to do a piece of, and I was talking, a piece of the 4-inch piece of paper, but mine's the whole. So I just went ahead and I just kind of added just what I did there. Just add a little bit. It's the wrong direction. Just a little bit more. And they can overlap a tiny bit, it doesn't matter. Oh, look, I got it. If I had tried to do that, never in a million years. So there's our background. I'm gonna use that once more in a minute. So then I took the background stamp, or background die, and I ran it through a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Let me show you paper. So here's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then this piece here is the one I'm gonna use now, and it is 4 1/4 by 6. Just because I want to have that little bit of extra room. You're going to end up trimming it down, so it doesn't matter. But I wanted to have a little bit of extra space right here so my washi tape could stay on. If you don't have washi tape, just grab a piece of Scotch tape or, you know, sticky tape, and then put that on there. You just want it to hold in place, and the rest of it you can do with your hand, but this keeps it from moving. So then I took my watercolor pencils. These are one of my favorite things. If you are new to stamping, they're a must-have. If you just like to color, they're a must-have, but they're super fun. And when I first started stamping almost 30 years ago, all I had was an embossing pad, some gold powder, and 3 watercolor pencils. And I made those last for probably a year. I would sometimes use Crayola markers to color in. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna use this for a template. And I just started pulling out colors. So we have pumpkin pie. I'm not gonna have you watch all of it, of me coloring, but we'll do some, and then I'll finish and I'll fast forward the video. So once you've done it once, then you can kind of see the colors that I have on it. So these big flowers here, I'm gonna do in the pumpkin pie. And there's very few colors on here that I have, just one, because the great thing about the watercolor pencils is that they blend so nicely. They're a totally different look than our blends, but they do blend. So I've got pumpkin pie, let's go. And I just kind of pulled them out. This is flamingo. And these flowers may end up being different than my first time. Similar-ish, but maybe different, because it's kind of hard to see a little bit what is on here. You can see some of the edges, but it doesn't matter. Every time they could be different, they could be fun. You could do the whole card. I didn't color all of them, but you could. So there's that. Let's go with whatever color is next, Cherry Cobbler. I'm gonna add this. I did not do this last time because I don't even think Cherry Cobbler is on my card from last time. I'll just add a little bit of shading to those. And then let's get real red. I think I'll do these in red. Again, didn't do these in red last time because I'm just pulling in my box and pulling something out. So I'm going to finish coloring these, and then before I do the next step, I'll come back to the video and show you how to move on from there. Okay, so I have colored all of these, and these are the colors I used, but literally I was just pulling them out. So as I look in here, there's a couple of colors that I could still try to use. Like I haven't used Night of Navy, so let's add. But I wanted to tell you I'm pushing really hard. Not as hard as I could. But I've had my pencils since they've come out. Lots of people have used them at my classes. You can push really hard, you can sharpen them, but it gives you a nice base of color. So now we have this all colored in. So you are going to grab a blender pen. Let me see if you can see I keep a ton of them in here, and some of them work better than others. So let me grab a piece of scrap. I moved all my scrap. This one looks like it's pretty good. And you want to start with one of your light colors. And this is so much fun. So you're just going to squiggle around in here, blend those colors up, and kind of go to the edges. And you can see where I've put more than one color in all of these things. So as you use your blender pen, they're all going to smear together. Now, when you use a blender pen with the watercolor pencils, and you just have to think about it, there is some wax that's getting on the end. So make sure you just scribble it off before you put it up, because otherwise that wax will dry on there, and the next time you go to use it, you'll think your blender pen doesn't work, but it's just that it's got that coat of wax on it. So you just want to take that off. So what I did was I start with light colors and then I moved to next in the same family, like next level up of color. So we did those daffodil ones. Now let's do this pumpkin pie. But all of them have, like I said, more than one color. I don't think there's any of these that I put on. Oh, the granny apple green. I didn't mix anything with those granny apple green leaves. But you're just literally squidging around, and as long as you hold this down flat, you don't even really have to trace. Your blender pen just kind of fills in those gaps. So I'll finish doing this and then we'll see what it looks like next. Okay, so we're done, and you can see the last one I did was these little black dots. So there's black on here, so you want to squidgy that off. And then you get to remove it, and it's so much fun because you have this and then you have your lovely stencil underneath. Look how fun that is. Super fun. It has that little bit of country feel. And the great thing about your template, if you use washi tape, just pull it off. And then I just have a place where I stick these up so you can save them and use them again. You could probably use that template, I would guess, 5 or 6 times. It gets a little, the blender pen, because it gets the edges a little bit wet, every time it loses a little bit of its stiffness, but not so much that you couldn't keep using it. Now this is a really fun step. So the last time I did this card, we still had our little writing pens. We don't have those anymore. And I did try it with the fine tip of our Stampin' Write marker. And P.S. I'm giving away a full set of Stampin' Write markers. If you order from me in July, you'll go into the drawing. The details are on my website. But it was a little thin, so my friends will laugh if they watch this video because I am like a flare fanatic. I love me some flare pens. I love them in all the colors, but I always have a black flare pen with me. So this is just going to kind of give these some definition. So you're just going to take, with the lightest touch you can, and I did every kind of the same thing at once. Of course, you'll miss some. But see, even just adding that little bit of black, how that kind of livens those up. And so then on these little flowers, I just added a circle. Again, it will get a little bit of wax on it, so make sure you scribble off with it before you put it up. But you'll see these just start to come to life. Now on these, I'm just gonna do some like little flower centers. And just do all the same ones at the same time so you know what each flower you kind of did. And don't say, I can't draw, because this is not drawing. This is literally doodling. So everybody can doodle because we all did it in school when we should have been paying attention to other things. So got those. Then let's go over, oops, see, missed one. Then let's just draw little lines on the edges of our olive ones. They most certainly don't have to be any kind of perfect because nobody's going to look at them. It's just kind of making the whole thing a little bit stronger. Let's hit the bottoms of these tulipy ones. And then in here, I think I did 3 and 4 in that one. So all those on these, I kind of just did a little scribble again. And they're not all in the same place. It just kind of gives that some highlight. And you can see them now coming to life because when it was just the color, pretty, but it needs something to help it stand out. And then on these, because I'm going to add some black centers, I just kind of traced that little pattern that it has going. Look at that. Look at the difference between this one that has just a little bit of flare scribbles like you're in first grade or, you know, junior high when we doodled a lot, and this one here. It just makes a world of difference. And like I said, if you have the old pens when we had the 2 different thicknesses they went out, we retired them about 2 years ago. You can use those if you have the Stampin' Write marker and that's all you have. Use the bullet tip. It's just not quite as thick. It's a little bit thinner. See, forgot that one. And then we just have these purple ones left. And we're just going to do one edge. I tried it with a blend the first time I did this card a couple of years ago, and it's just too thick, and because it bleeds a little bit, it doesn't stay thin. But look, super cute. And then I want to put some words on it. My other one, I put things on it because I couldn't find my hello stamp. And then I found my hello stamp, and now I don't see it again. Here it is. Hello. This one looks more like it's been stitched than the thanks. The thanks is script, but you gotta use something you can find, right? So I'm gonna put this on here. I'm gonna put it up a little bit because like I said, we are going to have to trim some of this card off. That looks much better than the thanks. The thanks looks fine, especially if you're making a thank you card. So we have this now, and we need to put this in the middle. So you can see that it's way bigger than what it needs to be. So I just start, well, this is gonna have to come off because we know this was already 6 inches long to give us room for the washi tape, and it has to be a little bit less than 4 to fit in there. We don't sell this trimmer anymore, so just put it in your paper trimmer or take it to your guillotine or whatever you use. But this fits well on my desk, and it's cute. So when Stampin' Up! Sells something or has a joining special and they're like limited time, believe it that it is limited time. So I just trimmed first, and then I kind of put it on here to see where it was at. That's pretty good. So I know from doing it last time that it's kind of the whole design. So we got that, and you can see it's going to fit nicely into those stitches. And then I wanted to kind of pull some stitching in to look like maybe it was pulled on there. I used to cross stitch a lot, and I know that you would not stitch this way, but it looks cute for card making. So if you're giving it to a real stitcher and you think it's going to upset her that we've got random stitches going on your card, then don't do this step. I liked the stitch stamp and I wanted to see it again, so I just added it because, you know, it's art. We can do whatever we want. But look how cute that is. And my husband's gonna paint my table soon. He doesn't know it. Well, he does, because it's about every 3 months we paint a table because I just stamp on it. So now we've got that. But then to give it that full-on fabric feel, I took the, I always forget what this one is called. It goes with the In Good Taste Suite. Sometimes that helps me remember, but I'm gonna run this through. No need for you to see me do that. And it's gonna add that fun texture. I've got all my plates over here. I think it's called Tasteful Textiles, maybe, because it's In Good Taste is the suite. And I think this is Tasteful Textile. So there we go. Now it looks like it's been on fabric. We had one a couple years ago, the Subtle Woodwork. There was one that was a little bit more fabric-y. They all have that kind of canvas feel. So now, this was on the Stampin' Up! Website, I think yesterday. So I have the polished pink ribbon, and on my other one I used papaya. I didn't like it, but it was already stuck on there, so I'm going to switch because, you know, I've already done it once, so now I can do it again. This time I'm going to use freesia. And so what they did was they took the ribbon. Okay, and they may have done something else because I saw it on Instagram and I didn't watch the whole video. So she may have just trimmed this part and got thin ribbon. I like fray. If you follow my channel, you know I like fray, and I like to make the ribbon fray. So this way we're gonna thin our ribbon so it's not as large on our project. You can, the way I did it before, which I don't know why I'm not doing it now, is I stuck a piece of that washi tape because it's sitting here and held the end, and then you could just kind of slide this up. But I started already, so, but you're just gonna trim it in half. So then I'm gonna use 2 colors. So if you just use one color, you get twice as much ribbon, but it's a little less overwhelming on a card like this because there's already a lot going on. This is more than I need, so I'm just gonna stop here. So you can see I already have my pink one, and then you're just gonna tie a little bow. And the key for this particular card is little, because like I said, there's a lot going on, so we don't wanna detract from that. So we have the bow, kind of adjust it, because we don't want those giant bow parts at the top. But see, it has that little bit of fray. It's much more dainty. I'd rather have longer ends, there we go, and a smaller top. So there we go. And I'll stick it on the card, and then I will cut the ends off. So I am going to use Seal Plus, because that will hold this ribbon on here. You could use a glue dot. I'm a big fan of wrapping the ribbon around my cards because I know that's gonna hold it on. But for this one, to get this fun extra little bits of ribbon in the fray, you really need to do it this way. There we go. And I like the freesia a lot better than the papaya. The papaya is just a little light for this card. I'm gonna take here. Great thing about the seal is that it holds so well, you don't have to put very much on here. But you also have to get it right the first time you lay it down because it's not coming back up. So make sure it's all on there and then kind of put it on. And then one final little touch. I wanted to go with that stitching thing. So these are button-ish. So I just took the small size and those fun flowers that have the centers. I did consider, you know how I told you that these pop out with that print, adding those back on, but this card already had a little bit going on already. Not the fastest card in the world, not slow. And if you like to color, then right up your alley. But I didn't feel like it needed any pop dots, any poppy things on it. And see, these are perfect. Let's add one big one up here. So there we go. So here it is. It's that fun texture, that great stencil feel. Here's the other one, and you see the purple's just a little bit prettier. The papaya is fine. It just kind of gets washed out on the card. I think the papaya ends up making these flowers look a little lighter than what they are in real life because you can see I colored them the same, but this one I think just lightens the card. And I like the hello better than the things. But there you go. There's today's card. And like I said, I will be back. Here, let me show you. So see, I have tons of these cut out, ready to do more projects with. I just have to get some time. I'm trying to get way ahead because I have retreat videos that I'm working on. Oh, and I did do, if you're in my VIP video club, I just did those projects. They're gonna be super cute. The ones that come to you in June if you purchase, in July if you purchased in June. Everybody have a great day. And for everything that I have going on, visit my website. Bye.